Right, okay, lads. Another revision video for you. Learn Outcome 2. So, for Learn Outcome 2, I want you to know basically how sports businesses are managed. And there's other like subtopics, but the first part, I think it's pretty easy, and I think most of you got this straight away. Is it'll ask you to measure success. So, what success is in a business? What business success? How it's measured? All right, in terms of successful. Now, obviously, how profitable it is. I think you know that. In terms of growth slash expansion. So if oh, if a business is expanding, obviously, it's going to be seen as a successful business. Um, in terms of its reputation, so if it's got a positive reputation, so obviously a good reputation is going to be a positive thing for that. Winning trophies is another sign. So if you're a sports team, winning trophies or medals, competitions, Liverpool, if they win the Premier League, it's a good indicator of success. So and it's another key sign of success there. Yeah. So and the other one, we hear this a lot, is legacy. Well, what is legacy? Well, I think it's having a lasting impact. It's becoming more and more of an important word now in terms of corporate social responsibility and sustainability. That you create a legacy, so you transform communities. It's an indicator now of success, that you're thinking about the planet, and that you're creating a legacy that is better for everyone else when you leave it. So another one is share price. Some of these firms are some of these sports businesses like Under Armour and some of the other some of the other businesses are public. So share prices, or even private, businesses, there'd be prices in shares, and they'll go up if you're successful. I reckon about how recognisable your brand is, how satisfied your customers are. So I forgot to mention that's the one that you tend to remember. So basic customer satisfaction. If your customers are more satisfied and there's less complaints, then you're going to be seen as successful. So they're the different elements to manage it, the way you assess the success of a business. But I think you know them. So I've covered them. Right. So next bit then. The spec is keen that you know a little bit in terms of recruitment. So you know what you should know what recruitment is. So you should know it's the people you employ now. And whether you're a small local business or a global business, there's different things to take into account. But I'm just going to flip over to this diagram because it highlights there the different elements. So recruitment is based upon the sector you're in. That means that basically you're in the leisure sector, in the gym sector, like the David Lloyd sector, and you need PTs, or you're in the merchandise sector. So the sector can impact the recruitment decisions. And the thing is with recruitment, you've got to take your time because the legal contracts, and it can be a nightmare if you get it wrong. So you end up with this person who you have to pay legally, and it can become a real problem. So when most businesses take the time when they look at recruiting new people. Right, the roles and requirements. So that could be the legal requirements, in terms of ages of the people you need, if they're over 18, but also more to do with the qualities they bring, the communication, the personal skills, what you need for that role. For example, me, I might need a UEFA coach because the skills are what I need for this business, so I recruit based upon that. Right, local needs and demographics. You might make recruitment decisions based upon the needs of the local area. In some areas there might be a greater need for selling a certain product than there is in other areas, or a certain sport. So you might need a rugby coach in Wigan, you might need a football coach in the middle of Liverpool or Salford. So it depends on local needs and the populations in that area. That's what demographics is referring to, and the budget available, obviously. You can, and this is probably the most important. So the people you recruit, you've got to make sure you can afford, and make sure that the budget meets the requirements. Okay, so that's that bit. I'm just gonna sort of wanted to cover that bit. So let me just flip back off there, and click back on there. So recruitment is based upon those four things. It's based upon budget. So what your budget is, that's a really important one. Roles and requirements. So on that one we've got roles and requirements. That's how you fit that in. What the requirements are, what skills you need. Local needs. So what are the needs, and also you've got the what was the last one I wanted to cover? On the sector. Well, I don't know the opposite way around. Probably because of the way I view the level of importance there. So that's 2.2. That so 2.2 of the learning outcome. Right. Next bit. It says in the spec that it wants you to know the different types of contract. So contract types. I'm not going to spend a long time on it because we've touched it in class. But basically, the contract is a legally binding document. So like you employ volunteers because there's no contract, so it gives you more flexibility. They still got certain rights, still got right to insurance, right to grievance rights, and they should be treated on this, at a similar level to employees. But once you're contracted, you sign on the dotted line, you know that these people work for you. And the ones we talked about was obviously part time, so not in typical full time. Would be your 37 hours a week. That's a typical full time. Then you've got in other forms. Do you know this one? Hopefully, it's the permanent, and you've got the temp. Okay, so permanent, temporary. That could just be for a certain period. Seasonal. Now you've got to think about. You might need seasonal. Say you're a football coach. You might need seasonal work over the summers, over the half terms. So that could just be. You've got to have a little idea of when these might be used. Outsourcing. I've talked about that. Sometimes you get more, people with very specific skill sets who you can outsource the work to. We outsource football kit merchandise because there's a specialist sports kit producer and distributor, so we use them and we outsource rather than employ someone to handle our kit. The jury's out in terms of how successful that was. And voluntary. They're the different contact types. As I say, I think you'll know them. You'll have to go into more detail on what the key elements of voluntary are. You have to know more about that. But they're the different contact types that I expect you to know. Right, the next bit then, in terms of how sports businesses are managed, we need to look at retention. Okay, so retention. Right. So, what is retention? Well, retention is keeping people not leaving and working for your competition, customers not leaving. Retention is important because if you've got happy customers, then you don't have to attract new customers and build your sales and bring in more revenue. So once you get a customer and you hook a fish, you've got to keep them happy and coming back to you. Likewise, when you've got good staff, you've got to keep them happy. So the methods then, in terms of how, that's a D, sorry, typing's not great here. So how can you retain good people? Well, I think it's quite logical. So if you have a bonus, you're going to keep staff, aren't you? If you have a bonus, if you can afford it, it goes back to budget. If you can't afford it, you can't. You've got to make economically viable decisions. But if you have, then you should. You've got to create some team spirit. If there's an element there, my phone's going there. If there's an element of team spirit, then people are more likely to stay. They reckon that if people think that if you not liking the boss is a key reason to go, if it's a terrible boss. So having a good team spirit, positive working environment again links in with that, making sure. So positive environment, making sure in work making sure that is more likely to keep staff and keep them happy. Offer progression, yeah. So progression and development training, that would come under. So like development, I'm going to put development training. If you offer additional training or progression, right, you're going to go there or you're going to go there, you're more likely to retain staff than if you're not. Okay, and the other one is pension. Pensions as well as another good way of retaining staff. So there's some of the answers, and it'll say how do businesses manage or retain. Well, how do they retain staff? And they're the answers that the spec would like you to know. I wonder how it changed that. Let's have a little look at that. So can I pick a different colour? Maybe board. Yeah, let's go with that. Happy days. So okay, so the benefits. The benefits. That's how you retain those staff. You've got to be careful out in this question, because it might also ask you for the benefits of retaining staff to different stakeholders. All right, so the different stakeholders, the different people involved are going to be the org. You've got the customer. So if you think of the customer, what's the benefits of these? I think we've touched on these quite a bit, and the benefit to the staff member. So these different people who get different benefits and the organisation. So a few points on. There's a couple of bullet points on this of what you obviously you should know. We'll be able to touch on. So the organisation, first of all, is it expensive to recruit new people? So the answer is yes, it is. So you have to train them. You have to do first aid, safeguarding. You have to put days aside. So it's definitely going to be cheaper. So it's going to be lower or fewer or cheaper training costs. So there's going to be definitely lower training costs or recruitment costs. Some people have to go to a specific recruitment company. Also, if you keep people and you train them in-house and you develop them, then you're going to have a more skilled workforce. So they grow with you. You'll have a more skilled workforce as a result. Okay, so more skilled workforce. The other thing is, if you've got them there for a longer period of time, they're gonna know the customer better. So obviously, the customer better. I've missed no out, but know the customer better. Of course they are. They're gonna know their personalities, and what works for that customer, and hopefully be able to solve problems for the customer as well. And the other thing is, you can promote from within. Just gonna promote from within. That's another benefit. I believe in this. I believe in trying to keep staff rather than having a big turnover of staff. If you turn over staff all the time, it can be a nightmare because you don't know the quality and you're taking a gamble all the time. Okay, so the benefits to the customer then. So obviously straight away there's going to be rapport, or positive relationship. So positive rapport with the customer's going to have a better rapport with the member of staff. So there's a better relationship there. The other thing, there's the individual needs of the customer is going to be better met. So and they're familiar, so they're going to be aware of the actual process or the member of staff. So they're going to be familiar with that member of staff or environment, and they're also going to be the customer's also going to be sorry, I've made a mistake of that. By keeping the person that they know, they're going to have a better. So the staff member, this staff member who knows them is going to have a better rapport with the customer. They're going to be familiar. This customer's going to be familiar with the staff member. So and this staff member is going to know what the customer needs. So he's going to know the individual needs of the customer. Right, going to the staff member, you've got the benefits for them. Obviously, if they stay, you've got job satisfaction, because if you promote from within and they're developing, you're going to have job satisfaction. The other thing is you're going to have what's called PD, professional development, and there should be an element of job security. And we're living in an uncertain time at the moment in terms of job security. A lot of companies are going bust. So job security is going to be a plus point in terms of retention, and there's going to be promotional opportunities if they stay. So that in essence is what they want you to know, and sort of know the key access words, because the access words are in terms of contracts, in terms of benefits. So they're asking for benefits and what, how that works. So that's that explained. I hope that helps you a little bit better when you're looking at the first part of learning outcome 2. All right, thanks.